Hey, what's up, swiping virgin gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. No, I'm not inside a fort or anything like that. I'm sitting on the floor and I'm doing this stuff inside. It is way too hot out there. Not gonna do that. Still waiting on the part. It's gonna be coming hopefully here today or tomorrow. It is the Juneteenth today, so it might not be here today. We'll do what we gotta do. We'll do what we're doing. I appreciate everybody reaching out for all this stuff. I'll get it fixed. It just is gonna it's gonna take a second. That's all. Anyway, want to talk about some stuff. Once again, card party was fantastic. Card party was great. One of the best parts about actually going to card party, in my personal opinion, was talking to a lot of people. And one of the other best parts is actually going and seeing vendors, seeing what merchandise they had, seeing what things they had. I saw a lot of Pokemon cards I fucking forgot even existed. I was like, oh yeah, that card exists. Oh yeah, that's cool. We even got like one of those Rumble cards that Virginia likes so much. There was just a vendor who had one in their binder, and it was pretty cool. So that was awesome. But vendors are very important for a lot of places, especially for like card shows or anything like that, where it's important for them to be able to sell things to people that are walking in, but it's also important for them to fucking get along with each other. And I've got an instance today where there's a couple vendors that are having an issue with each other. They're having big old problems. The vendor cooperation is very important. We're going to take a look at this and hopefully see if we can help some people out with this stuff. Unfortunately, adults are having a hard time, dishing this whole thing out, and it really needs to be done. It needs to be squashed because we don't need to see more of this stuff happening in the hobby. Let's review this clip. We're looking at Catch 'em collectibles. I know a couple people might there's two of them. We'll get to that here in a second.
What's up, guys? It's Shay with Catch 'em Collectibles LLC, a South Carolina family-owned business. We actually had the opportunity to do our first big show over this previous weekend, and we just wanted to come forward and share our story about the events that actually took place while we attended. 2 weeks before the event, we were contacted by a business that was out of North Carolina who also claimed to be a vendor at the upcoming event. And she went on saying that she had a trademark and threatened a cease and desist if we refused to change our business name. As a new business, this surprised us, and we wanted to make sure that we did everything right. So we let her know that we would be talking to a lawyer before changing our name because that would set us back a lot. But if we had to change it, then we would have. But after further research, we realized that she did not have a trademark. So ultimately, we did keep our company name for the event.
So we got an instance of two vendors that have very like names. It's going to be Catch 'em Collectibles. I'm sure some people are familiar with the other one. I am aware of their existence, and they both are actually based out of the Carolinas, so they're kind of close to each other. This actually appears to have happened at an event that was being hosted by Sports Wax Promotions. This is something that they were hosting of that, where they had a bunch of vendors that would appear to be for a bunch of different type of cards, of course, and that's where this is taking place at. But they were contacted and basically said, hey, we have a company trademark that's going in for that. And if they did, of course, they have legal rights to do so. They can be like, hey, this is our company. You're basically going to have it where it's confusing. People are going to fucking think you're us. They're going to think there's two Catch 'em Collectibles walking around and all that stuff. Homie did do the research, and it does appear at this time, for what he's saying, they do not actually have a trademark. And based off the experience I've had with people talking about stuff like this, generally they're not going, they may ask you, but past that, they will actually give you like an actual official cease and desist or a order to change your name if they have that stuff. They're not really typically going to be like, oh, we recommend you do this, or we're going to issue, like, they'll, or have this whole thing bootlegged up. Basically, they're just going to tell you change your fucking name, or else we're going to have to do something about that, right? If they have the legal things to do so. He checked with that, and they did not. And as the story goes on, it's going to kind of appear they do not have any kind of trademark as we go. We'll let the video continue, though. The story is set. The lore is being presented. There we go. Let's move forward.
So here comes the day of the event. It's amazing. We meet really cool people. All the vendors are nice, and they all support each other. It's just overall a really great environment. However, halfway through our day, we were approached by the same lady who had messaged us 2 weeks before. And she brought another lady with her who was recording as she tries to publicly humiliate us in front of everyone by saying that we were stealing her name and trying to pose as her while we were there. This was completely not true, and I felt as if she was fear-mongering us, and she threatened to sue us if we did not change our name, and she demanded that we did not come back the next day unless we did. After the incident, we were assured that we wouldn't have to worry about this person bothering us anymore, and for the rest of the time that we were there, we would be A-okay.
So it kind of sounds like whoever's running this event told them that they'd be okay. They're not going to have to deal with this stuff again. I don't know if that's true or not, but it also kind of sounds like the person who originally has the Catch 'em Collectibles, like the older, the longer standing one, I'm guessing, was coming up there and being like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do all these things, we're going to sue the hell out of you if you don't actually change your name. Allegedly, of course, is what people are saying, and threw a big old fit recording the entire thing, which, by the way, I mean, if you're trying to come up and be diplomatic about the fucking issue, you probably shouldn't put a phone in someone's face regarding the entire thing, that should really be brought out to like film where people are kind of being like assholes, or they're kind of pushing things or physically trying to advance on you, something like that. It's not really a good opener to just fucking throw the phone down their throat, just a thing like that. And whoever's running this vendor kind of seems like they know that both these people exist at the very least. That might be a common thread that maybe both the vendors should have talked. Maybe they should talk to whoever's running the thing first, because it's kind of weird to be like, oh, here's a Catch 'em Collectibles, here's another Catch 'em Collectibles, but it doesn't appear they have any relation to each other. Probably should have been brought up before they actually set up vendors. We'll keep going though. That's just something for hindsight.
However, though, on the second day of the event, I was harassed yet again, but this time by the husband of the lady who approached us the day before. And it wasn't until he threatened my safety is when I finally decided, okay, I need to record this. So I pull out my phone and I start to record. So now I'm going to let the video play, and when it's over, I'm going to get back with you guys.
How's that?
Because you're biting my Catch 'em Collectibles LLC.
Really?
You're pretending to be me.
That's what it
People
is.
have come to you all weekend thinking you were me.
So what about what you
Change
just
your
said?
name.
So what about you just said? Stand on it.
I'm going to stand on it.
The threat?
No, you got to cease and
The
desist.
threat.
You got no more. You're not going to do any
The
more
threat.
shows.
The threat?
Oh, I'm so cool. I'm
Hey,
going to record you.
your wife did it.
You're a bitch.
Your wife did it.
You're a bitch.
Your wife did it.
You're a fucking pussy.
You realize there's
You're a
kids
bitch.
all
I
around
don't
here,
give a
right?
fuck. You're a bitch.
You don't care?
I don't care.
You don't care?
Stop smoking meth. Go back to your trailer park, bro.
Meth?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and play no childish games over
You
nothing.
want to talk shit to my wife, call her names
Talk
and
shit to your wife, call
Yeah.
her names.
Yeah.
Tell her to stop acting like Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
So the other Catch 'em Collectibles, the one that's featured primarily in the video, that fool is walking around and saying a ton of stuff. It's being addressed. There's kids at this actual card show too. Homie just straight up was like, yeah, I don't fucking care, and proceeds to call dude bitch and all these other fucking things, tell him to get the fuck out of here, don't come back. He's standing on the cease and desist. He's standing on this, he's standing on that, he's standing on absolutely everything that's going for all that stuff too. Usually at this point, like this is where I would have recorded as well. I would have definitely pulled it out. It appears a threat was said. But I'll tell you what we do actually have proof of going on is this dude coming up and yelling at old dude, saying he's making claims too, saying you're pretending to be me, you're pretending to be all this stuff. And I mean, like, I don't even know if you can legally prove that he's attempting to be you or anything like that. You're based out of different states, and it does appear that you don't have a trademark or anything like that, because if you did, I kind of feel like this situation when it happened, you would have just fucking actually issued them a cease and desist. That's what I think would have happened from that. That's just how I allegedly feel about it. Don't fucking take me to court. I'm just saying, if you actually had one, I feel like you'd be saying something about that instead of throwing a big old fit at this actual convention, swearing and saying a bunch of garbage in front of like kids and things like that, man. Like, there's a time and a place. I'm not the saint of anything or anything like that, but I know how to behave at a fucking convention, man. You don't say stuff like that in front of kids, and you don't say stuff like that in situations like this where you literally should be addressing it instead of just making it worse. And yeah, someone putting a phone in someone's face and saying, hey, stop acting like Seth Rogen, that's not really like that's not a fucking joke. That's not like an insult where it's like it really warrants you saying that you're gonna do something to them. Let's take it outside. You're a little bitch. I mean, there's like probably a layer of which that should go. We'll keep. It's not much more. We'll keep going.
You're trying to be funny. You're not funny, bro.
If I wasn't trying to be funny, somebody had a cackle out of it.
You know, no one had a cackle out of it. You did.
Yeah.
But you and your fucking ally plushies, get the fuck out of here. Hey. None of your business.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, keep your
I will
mouth
fucking
down.
beat the shit
I
out
told
of
you, bro.
I told you,
man.
Take it outside. Let's go.
Hey,
You good, man?
keep
Yeah.
your
fucking
mouth.
business.
No, you shut your
Dave,
mouth.
Dave, chill, bro. Chill. It's cool.
It's for this shit.
It's cool. It's cool,
No,
bro.
you scrim. I don't need your shit either. Dave,
I didn't do anything.
look at me. I just don't need you next to us.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's unclear what actually happens before the entire thing goes on. There could have been a lot of other things said. There could be more of the story. But initially looking at it, I see one person yelling a bunch of vulgarities and fucking swear words at people and saying, let's take it outside, let's do this. To the point where other vendors have to fucking come up and be like, hey, keep it down. There's kids here. Shut your mouth. You're yelling a bunch of stuff, and there's like a bunch, like, people are very clearly coming up to the other dude, the older Catch 'em Collectibles, and just going ham on old dude. Get out of here, doing all this stuff. And he did say, let's take it outside. That 100% happened. He did call him a bunch of things. I mean, we can argue about what was said before, but we actually have footage of what was said during the altercation. And I mean, that really can't be argued at that point. They're talking about it. This could very easily be handled very differently. And it kind of sounds like whoever's hosting this event probably should have at least addressed this a little bit better than what it was, because you had two instances of businesses coming up to another business with a similar name and being like, hey, you're fucking stealing our name or something like that. And I mean, you didn't feel bad enough about either one of them to have any of them do anything. You just kind of let them hash it out there and let the entire thing unfold. It just kind of seems like maybe at some point, like, hey, maybe separate them or something like that, or maybe tell one of them, hey, look, I appreciate it, here's your money for the space back or something like that, but like, you got to get out of here because this is causing I don't know. Just seems like there was a way to go around this to avoid having one grown man yelling at another saying, let's fucking take it outside.
Now, as you guys seen, this man was clearly harassing me, and his main focus was the business name, and that's where a lot of his anger was coming from. And even after I mentioned to him that there was children around, he stated that he did not care and continued to basically scream vulgar language at me and threaten me. Now, on behalf of my actions, I feel like I could have, acted a bit differently, but this being the second time that this happened at the same event, made me feel like I had to stand up for myself, and show these guys that they're not going to bully us and push us around and keep us from what we love doing the most. Unfortunately, though, after a little bit of time, I couldn't completely focus on making my sales and talking to people because I didn't know who was going to pop up next and start harassing us. So I decided to just reach out again for some help, but this time, sadly, I was completely let down. I was told that the best action to take was to change our business name to keep them happy and off our backs. I was also told that these guys were sponsors at this event, and because they reeled in so much money, this individual was in a tight spot and didn't know how to help us. Luckily for us, though, we did gain the support of other vendors that were there and happened to see or hear about what they were doing to us. And as time went on, I found out that these guys have done this to other businesses and vendors that attend these events, and they will not stop. And my question is, how is this even still being allowed? And these guys have supporters. Lastly, guys, if you're a business and this happens to you, stand by your creation. It's a beautiful thing, and do not let anybody limit you from your blossom.
So there's a lot to unpack with that. So unfortunately, it does appear that the older Catchem Collectibles is going to be a sponsor of that event, allegedly, of course, and they're racking in a ton of money. They're racking in the big sales, the big donks, the big stonks, the big things, which kind of makes you wonder why in the first place they're worried about that other shop initially, if they're doing so great and the money they're bringing in is so grand that even the host of the actual event is in a tight spot because, well, if I kick this person out, we're going to lose this fucking much money. It's almost like, why not just let that shit play out? If you have the trademark, just handle this shit like legally. Just do that whole thing. To me, and this is just me personally, this is just how I feel, but don't fucking take me to court. It kind of sounds like they don't have a trademark on this stuff, man. They're just kind of mad you have a similar sounding name. It basically is the same name. I know on Instagram you have a different underspace and a different period somewhere else to actually get around that, but it seems like they're very upset that you're going to affect their business. So if you don't want to change your name and actually put like something, you could do a couple things like the newer Catchem Collectibles. It could be Catch Ham Collectibles. You could put an H in there, and then you can make it a whole thing. Oh yeah, have a ham of a good time coming down here picking up some cards if you want to fucking do that. But if you don't, and if they don't have the trademark, personally, it sounds like older Catchem Collectibles, since he has no issues issuing out stuff like that and being like legally at all this stuff, hey, get the trademark yourself, man. I know it'd be a little bit of a harder thing to do, and then issue it to them. Say, hey, man, you guys got to change your name. And unfortunately, if they have the trademark they claim to have, which they may have it, they may not. If you do, seems like you need to stomp this real quick, older Catchem Collectibles, then it'll play out how it does. But until one of you have the trademark, it just doesn't seem like you're just going to have issues with that stuff, man. Do what you think you should do best. I'm just reacting to this and just showing this crazy experience with vendors. I'm going to document it so we actually have further things of this later in case one of them do something kind of ridiculous again. And we just don't want to see that stuff. But the vendor, whoever is actually running this place, man, maybe review like store names a little bit better and be like, hey, maybe we got two people here with almost the exact same name. Maybe we should space them out really good, or at least talk to them beforehand and let the other know, like, hey, you guys are both paying money to be here. You guys both fucking exist here. We're going to make it as abundantly clear as we can that you guys have no relation to each other, and do what you can with that stuff. But I mean, like, just screaming, yelling, and fucking doing all that stuff at a card convention where there's kids and families walking around, completely unacceptable. Not something that I would recommend anybody, like, that shouldn't be allowed, okay? That's not anything that we should be looking at here. And unfortunately, we have an instance of it here today that reviewed. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everything's going great. Hopefully both the Catch 'em collectibles get this fucking figured out and they're not yelling at each other, taking it outside anymore. You're grown adults. Like, you guys can handle this the way grown adults can. Appreciate it, Virgin Gang. See you later. Let me know if you have anything in the comments below. And yeah, hopefully I get this fucking pump fixed soon. Hopefully I do.